Can see you. Do you like this place? Why are you not here? Look at this view.
You have only recently opened the skies, so you can expect us soon.
Well, I'm looking forward to see you here.
Hello,
Yeah.
Peter.
Jane, how are you doing?
Yes.
Very well indeed, thank you. This is the first weekend in 3 I've not been in the Mara, so I just timed that wrong, didn't I?
Well, next time consult the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife.
No, I'm already live.
Have you seen the migration?
I'm just
Yes. Yesterday we saw a beautiful migration, and also after this we are going for the crossing.
Nice.
There. Yeah.
I saw that classic one of the zebra crossing, and then one of them disappearing as a crocodile came along and got it.
So I'm doing live also now.
We also have the governor with us.
Okay.
The governor Tunai is here. We have Ambassador Jane Marriott, the High Commissioner.
Hi, Jane, Your Excellency.
And then we have our ambassador in the UK.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And most importantly, hello, Eliud Kipchoge, one of my heroes.
Hi, Jane.
It's a piece of hi.
Hi, great to see you, Mike. Great to see you, Kip.
Asante, my
Looking
senior.
forward to seeing you in the next few weeks.
Yes. Always live in London.
Manoa, this is Governor Tunai.
Yes, Governor.
Oh, now you have changed. Have you used your weight?
Well, you know, COVID meant that we had time to actually train, right?
Hi, you tell me when we are starting, so that I started on the YouTube side. All right.
I think in COVID, everyone's either got a bit thinner or a bit wider, but not many have stayed the same.
Exactly.
Apart from possibly you, Eliud, because I understand you've still been sort of tearing around the globe and sort of stopping for a breath every 4th lap of the planet or something.
Eliud, can you hear her?
Hello?
Hey, Eliud,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I changed to governor. All right. Yes, okay. Simone. Oh. Let me change.
Oh, they're bringing you.
No.
Eliud, how's your training going for the London Marathon?
It's going on well. I'm looking forward to run in London again. And also
It's going to be a bit different this year, a bit different from your record-breaking one last year.
Yes, but I think it will be a circuit, but it will consider also, if we smash the record, it will consider them as a world record. I hope the park
That's
will
what
be
we're all
okay.
hoping.
How is the park, Manoa? I think you are living there.
Yeah, well, St. James's is a great park. I think you will find the circuit as good or better than Vienna. So this will be a good one.
I'm a bit worried that, what is it, 18 laps around? I'm a bit worried that might get a bit boring, but maybe the Queen will come out and wave, although that might distract you, so actually we don't want that.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Kenya. I'll be your moderator for the afternoon on this webinar. Karibu sana, Jane Marriott. Karibu sana, CS Balala. Asante sana, karibu. Manoa Esipisu, karibu, as we wait for Governor to join us. And first of all, I would like to shoot my first question to Jane Marriott. London Marathon, a couple of changes. Are you fearing that it takes the spark out of marathon?
I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be very different. We're living in a very different world to the one we lived in last April when Eliud did his last marathon record there. But I think it's going to be different. It's not going to have quite the same atmosphere because there won't be people sort of lining the streets to cheer. But I think it will be a massive event. It will be watched worldwide. And of course, we're all keeping our fingers crossed for another world record from our man in Kenya.
Eliud, a different course this time around. St. James's Park, you're taking a loop around there. It's not the usual streets that are full of spectators. How different do you think this is, missing London Marathon crowd? That we know London Marathon is the only marathon in the world, I think, where every inch of the way is covered by spectators.
I think London Marathon 2020 will be a little bit different. Reason number one is that we'll be running in a circuit of maybe 18 to 19 laps. But all in all is that everybody will be watching. Many people will be running virtually all over the world. And above all is that I'm back to be in London and run again to bring hope to the whole world that this thing cannot stop us.
Estipisu, how timely is the announcement that London Marathon is back?
This was massive for us. We've been waiting with bated breath. No one wanted to hear the idea that this marathon would not take place. And so it's really been warmly received here in London. And I expect that it's been warmly received around the world. We have a very big Kenyan resident here, as you know, 100 Kenyans. They always look forward to this event. Obviously, the events of COVID-19 have made life a little perilous, but there are more than 1,000 Kenyans in the NHS who have also been NHS heroes, and we have probably 20,000 in the healthcare. So these people see this as a special vindication that some of the work they have been doing has really gone down to ensure that the environment is good to get this marathon run.
I'll come back to you on the Kenyans in London in a short while, but I'd like to rope in our CS for Tuesday, Najib Balala. A good announcement yesterday on a weekend that you've gone full out to announce that our tourism is back on track. We are at the Mara, it's full everywhere that we have been. And in a short span, driving towards Serena, we've been able to catch almost all the big five. I mean, how massive is all the big five? I mean, how massive is this announcement, and how do we leverage on this moving forward?
Well, thank you very much, Mike. I want also to recognize my friend Jen and Anoa. Thank you very much. Today is a special day because we have our iconic athlete and a legend for us in terms of marathon. Eliud Kipchoge broke all the records, and we are happy that today he's now the ambassador for Magical Kenya. I want to appreciate also Governor Tunai because he's opened up the doors for Maasai Mara. We are coming here to see the 2 million wildebeest migrating from Serengeti to Maasai Mara, and then we see the crossing, amazing crossing, thousands of wildebeest and zebras crossing the River Mara. That's an amazing, something to watch. Yes, Maasai Mara is very important. We have suffered in the last 4 months as tourism, and particularly the conservation sector, because it's as good as we have shut down. So I want to encourage everybody to support us. We are open as government. We are open as a country for business and for visitors. We have put very clear protocols. We have high-risk countries that must go through 14 days quarantine. Medium and low-risk countries are allowed in with a COVID-19 negative certificate so that they can be able to open up or help us support the economy. So that's why we thought international travel will take a bit of time. We've encouraged our domestic travelers. So I want to appreciate today Serena Mara is full. Sarova Mara, most of the lodges are full in Kenya, yeah, because of domestic tourism. Definitely the capacity of lodges are not 100%, but at least they are 60, 70%, and they're all full. So I want to appreciate the support the Kenyans have given to support our economy and to come out in big numbers during this migration, because this is something that you see only between June and October. So I know, Jane, you have been here before in the last 3 weeks. Manoa, we expect you. The airspace now is open. Our High Commissioner in London, please join us. We just finished a video call with His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. And he said in the next 1 month, he will be the local tourist to come to Maasai Mara. And Governor Tunai has offered that invitation. And the invitation is open to all of you, both Kenyans and non-Kenyans. Kenya is open for business. And every penny you spend in Kenya supports jobs and supports conservation.
Thank you, CS Balala. I'll drop in Jane on this one now. I'll pick up from the point where the CS has spoken about the protocols that are being put there. We've got high-risk countries, we've got low-risk countries. As far as the London Marathon is concerned, as far as Kenyans who want to go watch the marathon are concerned, the athletes, Eliud, for example, and his troop, what are the protocols that will be put in place? Because this is one question that I've seen so many people asking already.
Well, first of all, just going back to the protocols in place in the Mara and across Kenya's tourism industry here, I've been lucky enough to stay in the twice in the last the migration, and I've been really impressed in the hotels and the hotel industry and the tourist industry as a whole here has really taken COVID protocols to heart. I have to confess I'm slightly OCD on cleanliness, so I've been doing robust personal checks. It's brilliant, you know, everyone is following those protocols from the examples that I've seen. So I do hope we can certainly get some British tourists here before too long. In regards to protocol London, at the moment there is a from Kenya into the UK. I know that's under constant review, and it won't surprise you to know that I'm quite keen that that we get free flow of traffic between our peoples very quickly, with the relevant COVID protocols being in place. So, you know, negative COVID test certificates before we fly between countries, you know, is one of the measures that Kenya has put in. And I think it's a very sensible and robust one to protect travellers, but particularly to protect the peoples of a country that that we're in and we're visiting. So I hope that people can go over to the UK and can watch that marathon by the time we reach October.
Thank you, Jane. Governor, tonight I'll come to you in a short while when we switch over to sports tourism, but I want to bring in Eliud again. And Eliud, this is the moment that everyone has been waiting for as far as marathon running is concerned, especially after Olympics were cancelled. And this is one battle that everyone wants to witness. Bekele, Ethiopia, Kipchoge, Kenya. Are you looking at Bekele only, or you've always said, I am chasing the clock? I am chasing the clock.
Oh, I'll be respecting everybody. I'm looking forward to running London Marathon, and I'm really respecting all the highlights, all the participants. I cannot really concentrate on one person. But above all, the rule number one is that I treat myself as the best one. I'm going to run there as Eliud Kipchoge to represent Kenya in marathon in London, and actually bring hope to in the streets of London or in the back of St. James Park and to the whole world. So I'm going to run as Eliud Kipchoge.
Manoa, any requests already? Because there'll be limited number of fans around Central Park, where around the park where we're going to do this marathon in a very different way. So the 150,000 Kenyans, who gets to come in, who doesn't get to participate in terms of getting to watch this marathon live?
I think Kenyans will generally wait for the organizers to tell us how this matter will be resolved. The question you asked earlier about quarantining, elite sports people are not exempt from quarantine, so Kipchoge doesn't have to quarantine. Nor do other elite sports people coming in here. The guidelines are around social distancing at the time. But we do expect that once that is clear, then it's a question of who gets in first. You get your space. The rest of us can watch on television.
And tourism. This is one aspect of this country that we've always said it puts us on the map. You're the top governor today, actually. I mean, you've got the CES for tourism with you today. You had His Excellency the President on call and promising to come to the Mara. How does your county especially promote sports and tourism? Because we know we've got the Mara, and one of the marathons very attractive here was the Mara Marathon. What became of that marathon, and how do you leverage on sports tourism?
Thank you so much, Mike. It's a pleasure to have this conversation with two respected high commissioners and, of course, world champion Eliud Kipchoge. Welcome, all of you. We are in the 8th wonder of the world. This great reserve has been declared the best game reserve in the world for 6 consecutive times. And people have been attracted, of course, by the Great Migration itself, which starts from June to October. And of course, this is a very important part of the greater Mara Serengeti ecosystem. And therefore, as a county government, we have ensured to do one thing, that this great reserve is protected and conserved for future generations. And the tourists don't come here only for wild animals. There are others who come for culture. The rich Maasai culture is a great attraction to not only Kenyans, but the whole world. And as Maasai community, and I'm one member of them, we continuously ensure that we sustain that good part of our culture, which we know the whole world will want to know and understand. Now, coming to your question, we are very privileged today to have world champion Eliud Kipchoge. And as you know, that this county has produced a number of world champions. You remember from 800 world champion Billy Congela, you know of David Rudisha, you know of Manangoi. A good number of them actually come from this county. In fact, Rudisha come a few kilometers from here, the Maasai Mara Game Reserve. And therefore, as a county government, we continue to work with our youth to develop them, to position themselves to be great athletics in future. One of the things we have done is today, Narok Stadium, which is managed and looked after by the Narok County government, is one of the best in this country today. And a lot of our young people train there, not only on football, but also in athletics. This county also is blended. You know, right now we are approximately probably 2,000 meters above sea level, but we go as high as 9,000 square meters above sea level. So we have we have some good parts of this county which are suitable for athletics to develop themselves. So yes, tourism is very important for us, and we'll continue to support our youth. We'll continue to support our athletics. And thanks to Eliud Kipchoge, I know there are so many young people from Narok who are training in the North Rift, and we'll continue to support them so that they are able to advance their skills.
Dixon Oma says, I'm a Kenyan alumni who studied tourism in Morocco. My question is, how can Kenya take advantage of a geographical position in the world to promote tourism? As compared to Morocco, domestic tourism in Kenya is not well embraced by Kenyans. How can the government and stakeholders come on board to promote the same, especially during and after this pandemic? I think this is for you, CS Balala.
Thank you very much. Friend from Morocco, thank you very much. Definitely. Kenya is ahead in terms of domestic tourism than Morocco, than many other African countries. I think the new normal now is everybody will look inward and will appreciate that there is a market within so that they can be able to tap onto. So we in Kenya have done the year, this 2020, 2021 will be the year for domestic tourism. Not closing down or shutting down our markets internationally, no. International market is also important, but realistically we know the full recovery of international market will be end of 2021. I think with the new normal now, we're appreciating the new segment Of the market share, I think every investor in this country will start putting program for domestic tourism. Definitely the domestic tourism has different desires. We have to know the taste of the domestic tourism. What is their taste? And then the issue of affordability, sensitive in pricing. And then the issue of what program do they want to do? Not only about the facilities, but also what other activities do they want to do? Not all domestic tourists, they're not the same as the foreign tourists who come here and probably just want to drive 8 hours a day and just looking for animals. Someone to do more activities. And I want to congratulate Tunai. I think the culture must be added on to the package will be important. So these are the things that will be a lesson for the new normal.
Eliud, as London Marathon is coming in after this announcement that you're an ambassador for Kenya Tourist Board, I mean, what message will you be carrying with you when you go out to compete there? Especially now we know London is a very good market for us in terms of tourism. What message are you carrying with you other than athletics to these people in London?
My whole message which I'll be carrying, apart from competing in London, is that Kenya is a beautiful country. Kenya is a very safe and open country. Kenya is whereby you can enjoy, you can just jump into any conservancy and really watch the big 5 animals in the world. So I'm going to actually say and tell people actually to visit Kenya, enjoy the view of the animals, enjoy the terrain, enjoy the environment, meet the good people. You know, they say there is a lot of people, but there is a lot of good people in the whole world. But I want to tell them, Kenyans are the best people in the whole world.
Okay, Manoa, I know you've been doing a lot of marketing in our country, especially. And my question would be, what is the biggest challenge in terms of bringing people for tourism other than sports? Because we've got major events happening in Kenya. If you look at Sapphire Rally is back right now. If you look at PGA Golf with the Kenya Open. If you look at Under 20 World Athletics Championship will be coming to Kenya next year. This year in September as well, we've got the Continental Tour. How do we leverage on this events to make sure that we position our country in a way that when people come here, they don't just come as sports participants, but they also take a few days, a few weeks actually to tour our country and get to see what's good for us?
I think the key thing really is timing. We have to continue to engage with the sports federations to ensure that the timings we are getting for our events fall within the global terrain that makes the timing perfect for us. Golf, for instance, I'm sure those discussions continue with the European tour. I think with athletics as well, that should be so. So that in the time that our events are scheduled, we are not clashing with big events on the PGA, for instance, in the US, because it means we would get, first of all, less of the top hierarchy of participants, and secondly, people just coming to then to relax afterwards would not be there because they have to focus on the bigger events, so to speak. But if we do that, then the second thing just becomes marketing. CS Balala is doing a lot of good work there already. And it's really a question of focusing on your key markets and ensuring that the messaging gets sustained. Obviously, there's no point going around the world with the same message. You target specific markets with specific messaging so that those people see what it is for them that you are offering. And you should be able to get across the finishing line.
Benjamin Mwaka, who is a journalist, is asking, this one is to Kipchoge, in terms of training, are you in the right shape to face the world's finest athletes during the upcoming London Marathon, putting into consideration the coronavirus shutdown that has forced all camps and training facilities to be a no-go zone in a bid to tame the spread of the deadly disease? Eliud?
I've been training very well. I've been training in a high profile and with high profile coaching. I think I'm in a good shape, but still 2 months to come. I'll be in a better shape in the next 2 months to actually face most competitors in London.
How has your training changed actually, Eliud, in terms of with social distancing, with no training camp? Are you doing anything differently other than working from home?
I'm really training in a good way. For the last 3 months, I've been really training alone and getting some few guys, like 3 people, so that we keep a social distance, and putting a bike in front of us so that they can keep our momentum in the right gear. But for the last 3 weeks, since the president actually has opened everything to go on, we have tried to consolidate our team again to 10 people, whereby you can really train in a good way, but not in really congested place. So we are we are observing the directives of the government, at the same time training in a good way.
Okay, this one is from Mukavana Georgia, says, good afternoon, guys. Just wanted to congratulate Eliud on his new role. Big up, bro. That's what he says. And then Governor Tunai, we have these major events that are coming in. We've seen governors trying to spruce up their different facilities for athletes to use. I mean, Narok Stadium has been a cry for Manangoi, for Rudisha, and all the athletes from this area, where they're saying that we need a facility that can work towards improving the training facilities, improving the areas that we train in as athletes. How do we leverage the county government? What have you put in place other than that Narok Stadium? Do you have a budget that actually takes care of sports development with you?
Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, we have a Department of Social Services at the county government, whose main responsibility, among others, is to develop skills among the youth, not only in athletics, but in football, girls in volleyball and football also. Depending on whatever skill the youth has or want to advance, we as the county government has always been at hand to ensure that we assist the youth to develop their skills. So yes, we do have a budget. I know that due to this pandemic, a lot of our budgets had to be readjusted to meet the cost of this pandemic. However, we still have some money, at least at the county government, to ensure that we continue to enroll their youth to develop their skills.
Yes, Balala, I'll come to our local sports events that we have. We've got major events. I will label for you a few. Let me name a few. In Marala, on the northern part, we've got the Camel Derby. When you go to Lamu, we've got the Lamu Festival that has got the donkey rides. To the other side of the world, where I come from Suba, and in Rusinga Island, we've got the Rusinga Festival that has got a lot of competition in terms of rowing, in terms of swimming, in terms of sports that Kenya is not known for so much. But if you look at the following they have, is massive. But the question that is always asked, and so many people ask me, is why didn't we see this event being promoted? Why can't we have support from the relevant authorities to make sure that we come and see Rusinga Island, whereas we are enjoying the festival in itself? Where's the disconnect between these local events that can actually attract a lot of tourists, both local and international?
Well, first of all, we have been supporting the Camel Derby in Marsabit. We have been supporting the Lamu Cultural Festival. We were supposed to engage ourselves with the Rusinga Festival, the Cultural Festival in Rusinga this year, but unfortunately because of COVID. But the most important thing, actually, these events are local events. I also expect the county government to take a lot of interest in developing these events. Our job will be to promote them. We need these events to reach at a level of a threshold of international, so that we can be able to promote them international. But also we have participated in these events also because they encourage domestic tourism. Our domestic tourism program includes the local events like the Marsabit Camel Derby. But again, I think we need to work together with the county government, the relevant ministry, which is Ministry of Sports and Culture, so that we can be able to develop these events, so that when they happen, they don't become a political platform where politicians make statements. I was talking to Governor Tunai here. I went to Jamaica, to the Independence Day of Jamaica, 50th Independence Day of Jamaica. And with President Uhuru Kenyatta, he was the chief guest. And there was not a single speech given by any public leader, neither any politician. Everybody was up, dancing, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Jamaican independence. But when we come here, and I monitored most of these cultural events, they become political platforms. And Governor Tunai was saying he wants to bring the way the Jamaicans do, so there are no speeches, so that we can allow the traditional dancers to perform, the musician to sing, and we can all sing together. And that should be the spirit, rather of us making cultural festivals to be a political platform to fight each other politically, or to raise profiles for newcomers. I think this is a mindset that we need to change, particularly now with the new normal after COVID.
CS Balala, this is still to you. Bukavana is asking a question. Says, guys, COVID-19 has really hit the tourism sector. How do we resurrect this sector? I think you've touched on it before in a press conference, but it will be nice to recap again, just to tell us, how do we resurrect this sector, especially after the effects of COVID-19?
Truly, the tourism sector has been affected, not only in Kenya, but globally, and the whole economy has been affected. So we need to think afresh, rethink about tourism. Probably we need to refresh what we want to do in tourism. So yes, we need to look inwards, and then as I said, domestic tourism is important. We need to appreciate that domestic tourism has a different taste, different desires, and also they are sensitive to some other aspects like pricing. We need to adjust to those issues for us to resurrect the tourism sector. We cannot just sit down here and think, oh, now COVID is about to finish, things will go back to normal. No, my friends, there is now first, within COVID, what are we doing now to survive? Then post-COVID, which is now the new thinking and the new repackaging of our products. So product development is key. And then readjusting the marketing strategy that we have. And we have seen of late, despite there's no tourism, Magical Kenya has been all over. Even I did a virtual tour on a safari. So we want people to remember that still we have products, we have experiences. It's not just about going to a hotel. How do you experience yourself in that hotel or in that national park or reserve? So these are the things we are doing. We have given incentives as government. We have supported 1 billion shilling President Uhuru Kenyatta has given on supporting the community conservancy ranges. There's also the 3 billion shillings for hotels which are old. They need refurbished. Those are soft loans we are giving out to hotels. And then we have reduced VAT to 14%, and we have reduced past 5%. But also we in Kenya Wildlife Service, we have given 50% discount of all our park fees to support the domestic market as well.
Well, Eliud, after London, do we expect you to take part in any other marathon this year? Because I'm not seeing any other big race that will be there before end of the year. That means it could be London and London back-to-back before the Olympic Games. So in between here, what would you be doing?
Oh, I think after London, I need to come back and do other things. Apart from, you know, now I'm the ambassador for the Magical Kenya. That's one way to come and market our country outside Kenya. So I'll be having a lot of work to do after London Marathon.
Okay, this one is for you, Governor Tunai. Is it possible for the county government of Narok to at least support one of its local teams and pump in the resources that the team needs to ensure that in the near future, they are well represented at the top tier leagues? Casting Points is Vihiga United that gets massive support from the Vihiga County. The move will eventually help support many football talents in the county. Again, the fact that the county has its own stadium, they can utilize it well to promote the sport and tourism in Maasai Mara.
Thank you so much, Mike. Indeed, that is already happening. In fact, last year, we had finals at the Narok Stadium, and there was a very stiff competition because ours is ward-based. So we have 30 wards in this county, So we had 30 teams which competed from the sub-counties all the way to the county finals, which I presided over. And it was very stiff, and we had agreed that is going to be an annual event. And actually right now the teams are competing at the world level to prepare themselves for the finals. So yes, we are doing, and we are going to produce a team in Narok, the Narok team, which is going to compete with other counties. And finally, we hope to have the best team in this country and the region.
Thank you, Governor. This one is to you, Eliud Kipchoge. This is from our very senior sports editor, Elias Makori from The Nation. He says, psychologically speaking, athletes have been out for a long time without competition. And now we have a big event like the Virgin London Marathon upcoming. Do we expect fast times due to the longer recovery periods or slow times due to lack of competition? You recently said that you will do something special in London.
I think we'll all come back, all the athletes will come back stronger, more than actually people expect. COVID actually, it's both in an opposite way. But, people have been working behind the scenes and training very well. So we expect a strong comeback.
Well, still from Makore, CS Balala, this one is yours. Is there an interministerial plan to boost sports tourism, especially given the limited allocation from Treasury to the Ministry of Sport, Culture and the Arts? In some nations, ministries of foreign affairs, sports and tourism team up to create funds for sports projects. Also, what is the ministry doing around the Kenya Open Golf, Sapphire Rally and Kipchoge Classic? That is the most immediate one coming in September on the 26th. CS Balala.
Thank you very much. We are working very closely with the Ministry of Sports, my sister, CS Amina Mohammed. We are also working very closely with the Sports Fund, which is the one that is financing all those sports activities. Definitely, we don't have budgets to finance it as the Ministry of Tourism. The budgets are with the Ministry of Sports. But we identify which is a strategic event that we need to bring to this country or even to sponsor. So these are the things that we work very closely with the CS Amina and the Sports Ministry and the Sports Fund, because without them, they have the resources. And I'm glad so far we have committed ourselves already. Kenya Open is already on. We have financed Kenya Open before, and even this year we have financed Kenya Open. I believe the Kenya Open team and Kenya Sports Fund are already coordinating with those finances. We are also supporting the Ladies European Tour. We have not concluded on arrangements of sponsorship, how much it is, but we did that last year. We paid prize money of 30 billion Kenya shillings. That's a sports fund. I hope it will be done also for 2021. Sapphire Rally also we have committed fully. It was just cancelled because of the COVID in Russia. Under construction, we are waiting for that event because we have lost that event for over 18 years, and now we're excited to have it back again, the Sapphire Rally.
Well, Jane Marriott, we are glad that you're back with us. I'll give you the opportunity to close this webinar with the final question to you, which is, I know a lot of people from the UK would always come to you to ask, I want to go on safari, I want a holiday in Kenya, what do you recommend? Given that Eliud is now an ambassador for Kenya Tourism Board, does this make your work much more easier?
I think, well, I'm hoping we'll return at some point to the pre-COVID levels of 180,000 UK tourists coming to Kenya a year. It's good if they have different interests. We don't want them all descending on the Maasai Mara. That is, of course, the place with great name recognition. But having been to Samburu, I'm currently in the Mount Kenya area. There is so much to offer across the whole of Kenya. So I think His Excellency in London and I, working with CS Balala, working with Eliud and others, have got we can there's something for everybody's interest in Kenya. In fact, more than one interest. What I would say is, whether it's foreign or domestic tourism, sustainable green tourism is the heart of where we need to be. There's so many challenges to the economy, to the environment, but ensuring that we have sustainable, responsible tourism, which I know is at the heart of CS Balala's thought process. It's just going to be so important to make sure that we get the revenue into this country, that tourists get to experience the beauty that is Kenya, but they go away having not touched Kenya in ecological terms or having made it better. That's what sustainable tourism needs to be all about. Thank you, and thank you for arranging this.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Eliud. Thank you, CS Balala.
Thank you, Governor
Tunai. You're not here, so we'll tell you that the skies are a bit opening right now, but we need to go and catch the wildebeest migration. That's what you're missing sitting in London as we are at the Mara. So for everybody who was able to join us on this webinar, we say thank you very much, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, colleagues, and Thank you very much, Governor Tunai. Thank you very much for allowing us